Hey everybody, I am going to start today by sharing something that I'm not necessarily proud of. And that is when I was here at Westminster, it was pretty often that I would skip some summer reading assignments and maybe even some of the books that we were assigned at school. Just so I feel a little bit better about that. I promise I won't tell Dr. Hunter or anyone. How about a quick raise of hands? Has anyone in here ever looked at a summer reading list and maybe thought, I don't need to read that one, and skipped it? A couple people? Okay, good. Feel better, thank you. Well, what I came to share today is the applications in everyday life of storytelling, and that maybe if I hadn't skipped all of those books, I would have made one of the most important discoveries in my life before my mid-20s. And that's why understanding both the framework of stories and how to use them in a wide range of things, from growing a business, marketing a new product, selling something, or even in making new friends or growing relationships. The way we'll start is diving into the general framework of stories. And it's crazy. We've been using stories as a species since before we could read or write. It's one of the most powerful means of communicating an idea, sharing knowledge, or helping someone understand a really complex topic, product, just thing. So we see this same framework. It's been used from stories that predate books like the Iliad and the Odyssey through some of our favorites like Harry Potter, or the ones that we'll use today are Star Wars, A New Hope, and Cinderella. And I'm going to go through this framework that we see over and over and over again, side by side with these two, Star Wars and Cinderella. And then we're going to talk about, well, okay, great, that's a good framework. How do I use it? We're going to jump into that too. So it pretty much always starts like this. There's a character. In Star Wars, we got Luke Skywalker. In Cinderella, we have Cinderella. And what do you know? The character's going to have a problem. They're going to try and overcome something. In Star Wars, we've got the Empire and this big planet-exploding Death Star. And in Cinderella, we've got an evil set of step-siblings and a stepmother. And it's terrible for Cinderella. Like, we really hate this for her. They're going to inevitably meet a guide. And in Star Wars, we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi. And in Cinderella, we've got a fairy godmother. And ultimately, that guide is going to give them a plan. Now, this is important. In every story, someone's going to come in and help this character that couldn't achieve something that they wanted without a plan. But in Star Wars, it's going to be, we're going to take down the Empire and this big Death Star. And in Cinderella, we're going to meet our Prince Charming. Beyond that, they've got to be called to action. It's got to be something that they've got to do. With Luke Skywalker, it's pretty specific in that first movie. We've got to blow up this Death Star. We've got to stop the Empire from blowing up planets with our friends and family on them. And in Cinderella, we've got to go to the ball. I mean, come on. Where else are you going to meet a Prince Charming? Of course, there's going to be some stumbles along the way. That guide's got to help him avoid failure. In Star Wars, Luke is going to use the Force. Boy, I wish I had that. And in Cinderella, fairy godmother turns a couple of rats and a pumpkin into a horse-drawn carriage to get her to the ball. She wouldn't have been able to get there any other way. And what do you know? In almost all of these stories, it ends in success. We blow up the Death Star, and we rid the galaxy of a planet-destroying, massive spaceship. And in Cinderella, that glass slipper ends up fitting. She ends up living happily ever after, which to me is certainly some success. So, again, we see this simple framework used time and time and time and time again. There's a character who has a problem, They meet a guide that gives them a plan, calls them to action, helps them avoid failure, and it ends in success. Of course, sometimes there's some twist. Maybe it's not the exact success the character thought of in the beginning, but ultimately there's a happily ever after story here. So let's tie it together. We talked about the general framework, and I want to start thinking of some ways that we can use this in our everyday lives. An example would be something I'm guessing a lot of the audience has in their pocket right now, and thank you for ignoring it. It's a smartphone. And think about how brands communicate with you on those smartphones. If the commercial for an iPhone was just a list of how great that iPhone was and the amount of storage it has and the number of pixels on the screen, we tune it out. With their messaging, they show each and every one of you is the hero of a story. They show you being the hero that captures that amazing Kodak moment on your phone and instantly shares it with friends, family, and loved ones with a click of a button. They've made you the hero of your own story. They've allowed you to understand what it would be like to have that iPhone in your hand and being the hero in your family for capturing that moment of maybe your niece taking her first steps. It's a big moment for a lot of families. When we think about growing a business, I came up here and talked about our company and said, we are amazing. We've made revolutionary technology and it does A, B, and C, and we are so proud of it. None of you care. And why would you? Neither would anyone that we talk to. But if we said, we've built some really cool technology, and we make the accountant of a commercial real estate company the hero of that business. They're able to do their job faster and more accurately and deliver the right information to the right people instantaneously. And half of them that use our software get a promotion. Maybe they'd listen. Because we're trying to flip that and make them the hero. And that takes us into some of the friendship part of this, in growing and developing relationships. Everyone wants to be the hero of their own story, right? I mean, I certainly do. But what if I were to tell you, when thinking about communicating with others, that you might be better off playing the role of the guide and helping others be the hero of their own story. Think about the last time someone walked up to a circle of friends, you're all together, and they started talking about themselves, something cool they accomplished. You might almost start reaching for that smartphone in your pocket because all you hear is me, 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 me. But you can remember a time where someone came up and started telling a story about someone else in that group, or more importantly, what if they told a really cool story about you? How does that make you feel? When they make you the center of the story that they're telling, you get to be the hero of the story. I certainly appreciate that. It goes back to our inner desire to live out this hero's journey ourselves. And that by doing so, you may create a stronger friendship and understand someone a little bit better. So I want to go through this just one more time with everyone. And it's actually pretty important. So I recently this year started helping the Westminster robotics team, stepping outside of my comfort zone there. And they're on a pretty cool hero's journey today. You might have seen them outside stomping on cans as you walked in and wondered, what the heck are they up to? They are recycling aluminum and looking to win a competition that ultimately could help create a Habitat for Humanity house for family in need. And you know what? They need your help. You're going to be a part of their hero's story, and you're all going to be part of the hero's story as well as the hero. I want to be just the guide in this one. And you may have noticed when you came in and sat down that there are some cans with big red duct tape taped to some seats. Does everyone see those? All right, let's leave them alone for just now. Hold on. I know, it's exciting. We've got a problem, and that's that there's a family out there in need. And we've got a plan. We're going to take those cans and we're going to donate them to your call to action is when I flip to this next slide. And the way that we're going to help you avoid failure is we've actually put some big green bins in the back. So when I click to this next slide, you could grab the cans and pull them off the seat and pass them out towards the aisle. And if you're sitting on the aisle, take that can, take it to the big green bins in the back, and know that you have been a part of the hero story that Westminster is trying to create in building a habitat for humanity. So again, we've got a character who has a problem. They meet a guide who gives them a plan, helps them avoid failure. We're going to call you to action right now, and this is all going to end in success. And I want to thank you all for your time today. This has been real-life applications of storytelling. Thank you.